And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, welcome to the Weighing In podcast.
Stuttering John.
That's because of what Josh just told me he got chapped lips over.
Oh, shut your whore mouth, you fucking guy.
Welcome to the Weighing In podcast.
It's windy in Austin, Texas.
Is that what it is?
Shut up. Yeah.
UFC
Fucking
311 is history from the Inuit Dome in Inglewood, California. There was actually some really good fights there. There was some scraps that were almost epic at times. So we're going to talk about everything that happened with the UFC. We're going to talk about, I guess, just all kinds of MMA things right now. We're going to talk about Josh's son and his lacrosse tournament. How's he doing?
We're in soccer. This is soccer now.
Oh,
so
Jesus
lacrosse
Christ,
has a
I can't
break
keep
until
up with you.
Yeah, lacrosse has a break for about 2 weeks. Then we go to rec lacrosse because club
Rec
lacrosse. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But he's playing up though, so he's going from he's in fourth grade, so from fourth grade for rec lacrosse, he ends up playing 5, 6. So he'll play with 6th graders for his rec lacrosse, and then he'll go back to his club team and his national team come probably like the end of April. So mid-April, end of April, they'll go back to the national team and the club team. So, but he'll still do like back and forth, but mainly club and national team for that. So yeah, but this is, we were hoping to get to the finals in this tournament, and it looks like they may not make it to the even to the semifinals. They're down by goal differential, so they need to score 5 goals tomorrow. Luckily, the team they're playing tomorrow has given up 5 goals in each game. so maybe they'll get there, but they lost 2. They lost the first game.
So what you're saying is this team is the Detroit Lions because they just gave up.
Jeez, I was trying to watch the fights and watch the game, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, I can't believe this is going on. I had Detroit in the Super Bowl early in the year. I thought for sure they were gonna end up going in the Super Bowl. Damn, I felt bad because I love Dan Campbell, man. I love their team. I love everything they're doing.
Yep.
The guys that should never be there, they're there, and I thought they were going to run deep, but they didn't.
You know what? It was my daughter-in-law is from Detroit area. She's from, and just a huge Detroit
Not
fan.
something I would tell most people.
Has been, but has been there, a fan, through all the bad years and everything. So she's all excited. And I said, hey, look, the only way they lose is if they turn the ball over. Boy, did I jinx that one.
They just couldn't get it going, man. And Goff's got what? He had like 5. He had like no interceptions pretty much all year. Then he had 5. He had 5 interceptions in one game.
Yeah.
And then like he's kind of been just wonky the last like probably 3-4 games. So it just when the playoffs do strange things to teams.
It's a second season. It's a whole different ball of wax, man.
Yep.
So.
But to think about it though, right? The rookie got the rookie from Washington, man.
Jalen Daniels?
Yeah, Jalen Daniels got him to the conference finals.
Okay.
Can't be mad at that.
No,
Good for him. Good for him. I think he's gonna win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
he should.
He'd be right up there.
He might up there. I think he will.
Yeah.
So, John, before we get started, though, let's go ahead and thank BetUS. This episode is brought to you by BetUS. And, of course, OnlyFans. Head us up over to OnlyFans. We do a live show over there. We just did one last weekend. Enjoy. We had a great time over there in terms, not that kind of great time, but look, we're doing some great content over there. So also on top of that, Drink Element, LMNT is the thing. Look, there you go. I'm not in my normal studio, so I'm in Austin, Texas, but right now. So John's obviously partaking in the Element, the hydration product. Look, I'll let you guys know this. If you guys use the link down below in the descriptions, they give you an extra bonus product. Whether it's something new they're coming out with, which I will tell you this, they are coming out with new product in March, as well as like towards probably the end of June, different types of new products. But the other thing too is John and I always talk about hydration for this company, but I want to let everyone know, look, if you guys use our link down below, I want you guys to remember this. I use it towards the end of the night. Like John is using it right now. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning for you. It's about midnight for me.
Yep.
I use it at the end of the night because I'll drink about a half a can, maybe 3/4 of a can, but it actually helps me sleep. that extra sodium, that extra potassium, it's actually great for your sleep. I get more into a deep REM sleep. For those of you guys that are having a hard time sleeping, try it for that. I know that John and I have been pushing it in terms of like during the day. John works on the farm all day. My son uses it between games. I use it when I work out. I use it before workout, after workout. Look, if you're not someone that works out, use it for other reasons. And so, like I said, for me, I started realizing that I would drink half a can in the morning before workout. I drink a half a can after my workout, but then I would like start to feel tired, like in the middle of the day. I was like, why am I so tired? But then I started realizing that it was, obviously the sodium and the potassium that's kind of make me feel a little like kind of tired throughout the day. So it works different for everyone's body. I use it now towards the end of the night when we do our podcast. I'll drink a half a can before bed. Bro, I knock right out. Helps me sleep. I feel so much better. And so you guys use that link down below. You get your bonus product, and with every purchase, enjoy. But John, let's jump into the show. Obviously, I'm disappointed on one side. I'm happy on the other.
Look, this is why you fight. This is the whole reason is because you can sit here and say all the things you want to say and have all the numbers and all the statistics and what about this? It really comes down to just the fight. And sometimes the fight isn't about how many punches you throw. It's not about how many kicks you land. It's about being able to outpace someone at times and put them in a position where, it's an old saying from football and Vince Lombardi. Fatigue makes cowards of everyone. Now, it doesn't mean you're a coward, but it means you can't do the things that you normally are doing because you're waiting so you can get that extra gulp of air. It just makes you less of an effective athlete. And it's something that we've known in fighting forever. You watch someone like, we're kind of skipping a fight, but you watch that fight with Umar and Merab, and I wish everyone could feel what Umar is feeling as far as when he is in that fifth round. Look, he was winning the fifth round for a while there. And his arms are freaking heavy. His freaking legs feel like they're in mud. You're breathing, your heart's, pounding out of your chest, and you got this guy in front of you that's just an Energizer bunny who's tired, but he doesn't show it.
Yeah.
And he just keeps coming forward. And that's a feeling that, man, that is a hard thing to get through, and it's a learning lesson, and he's going to learn from it. It's going to make him a better fighter. He said he broke his hand, all that stuff, but we'll get to that fight. But you got to go with the fight that kind of was a disappointment in the fact that the Sarukian versus Makhachev fight was the one that you were looking at. That was going to be just an incredible matchup between those two. We didn't get that. Again, I love Renato Moicano. He was put into a position where he has to take the fight. I don't blame him for taking it. The UFC offered it to him. He's got to take that fight, but he wasn't prepared for the style that Islam brings. He went out to fight. He went out there, threw his hands as good as possible. They gave him credit for a takedown. The UFC did. I said he was off balance. He got pushed, but Moicano was going after it, and this is where we said, as soon as the fight hit the ground, there's just a difference in levels. And I know that Moicano is a black belt. It's people don't understand when someone grabs a hold of you and they have that quick attachment that he does with either the Darce, the Anaconda, or the arm triangle choke, or if you want to call it a head and arm choke. And when he grabs it, it's the squeeze that all of a sudden you're stuck in a position like, oh, and now you're so far behind, you just can't do anything with it. And that's what happened. And look I love Renato Moicano. He didn't do anything wrong. He went out there, gave it his best, but he's facing the guy that you could look at, the best lightweight champion the UFC's ever had.
He's the best pound for pound fighter right now in the UFC. I mean,
well,
stop.
You say that. Go ahead.
About that.
No.
Stop.
It is the fact.
Try and pitch somebody else. I don't want to.
It is the fact that right away, when the fight fell through, there was no delay. I'll fight anybody. I'm the champ. Okay. That's what
we get that in from any other champ? Give me another champ that we get it from.
Pound for pound
give me another pound for pound person we get that from. Can you tell me? We're not getting that from John Jones right now. I can tell you that. Mr. Handpick. Let me figure out my guy.
He's in a different
Doesn't
position.
no, it's not a different position.
Yes, he's in a different position.
Shut your mouth.
You're
He's
gonna
in a
sit there
different
if you want to
position.
complain to someone.
No.
Complain to Dana
I'm
because
not
Dana's the one.
To anybody.
Dana's the one
I'm
that's
complaining to people that want to argue the fact that John Jones is the pound for pound.
Did I say that John Jones is the pound for pound?
John Jones is not the pound for pound.
Did I say that John Jones was the pound for pound?
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that shit from anybody. If you're in the comments, you shut your whore mouths, okay? I'm not trying to hear that shit from nobody. I know people are going to be in the comments talking about how, Islam's not pound for pound, John Jones, blah, blah, blah. Y'all on the Dana wagon. Shut your mouth right now. Be honest. Like, the bottom line is, that's exactly what champions are supposed to do, John. And you know that. Right. I mean, and how many times have we seen world champions go, you know what? I'm not really ready to make that fight. I'm not ready to fight. You got to be the guy that can step up and do that and fight whoever the champion is. And the fact that he said, hey, look, this goes back to Khabib. I don't know if you guys remember. If King Kong makes the weight, I'm going to fight him. That's what Khabib said. I don't care who you bring. If King Kong makes the weight, I'll fight him. And the same thing goes with Islam. If whoever makes the weight, if I can't beat you at 155, the Barstool guy, I don't care. Bring that guy too. What's that guy's name? Dave Portnoy, whatever.
Dave Portnoy.
Bring Barstool guy too. I'll smack
as long as he brings the pizza with him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'll take it. All right, but I don't want the Chicago pizza. I don't want the New York pizza. I want something special. I want a pizza that no one's ever had before.
Damn.
I had some really good pizza here in Austin. I got to be honest, man. This little place called Pint House. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Don't you ever put down Chicago pizza.
Chicago pizza is good, but I can only have one piece. It's so thick.
That's because
I have one piece.
Because one piece weighs 5 pounds.
Everyone's like, "Hey, shoot like the medium." I got the medium. It was like this big, and one piece. I'm like, I'm taking the rest home. I couldn't eat it. It was so thick, like my Johnson. Anyways, let's carry on.
Illuminati's.
No, look, yes. We went there all together, correct?
Yes, we did.
What's the other
Giordano's.
Did we go there or no?
I've been
as a crew. I've been there, but I don't know if we all went there together as a crew.
Yeah. I usually go to Lou's. I like it better.
Okay. Yeah,
Giordano's got more tomato sauce.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
Had a good time.
They're all good.
They put us in this little tiny booth of like 10 of us. And I was like, but it was good. It was good. I felt like I couldn't get out of there because I was so stuffed with pizza. But look, the Islam talk, he's the pound for pound guy. If you guys don't like it, I don't care. And I'm not trying to be biased. Simple fact is that it doesn't matter who you put in front of a champion. Almost 95% or 99% of the champions are going to be like, you know what? They probably would have just taken the money. They wouldn't have fought. They would have been like, nope, I'm going to take the money. Or if you bring in somebody, they want a way lesser opponent. Moicano was there. He took the fight. No questions asked. He did what he was supposed to do. And if you're the champion, you have that strap. As long as you make the weight, that's all that fighter should care about because you're supposed to be the best fighter in the world. He did that. I got nothing but love for my brother for doing that because, look, it's easy to talk about doing it. Like most fighters, I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. It's easy to do that, but the bottom line is he did it. And it's hard to make that decision on fight week, John. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
You know that.
Especially when you specifically train for an individual that you knew was going to be tough. You do specific work for that fighter, and then that fighter falls out, and you're going to fight someone that is completely different. Nothing is the same. That's a tough thing to do.
Well, you all have a plan, right? You train for somebody. You all have a plan. So you get punched in the mouth. You got to make that adjustment as it goes on. Doesn't matter who's punching in the mouth. You got to make that adjustment. And he just made the adjustment. Look, I got a little concerned too because I was like, oh, wow, Moicano's faster than I thought on the feet. And then when you saw them in the cage, I got to be honest, Islam is a big 55-pounder. Moicano is just as big, right, if not bigger. It depends on the angle.
Nah, they're the same.
They're about equal. I think they're equal. Yeah. But that guy used to fight at 45.
I know. Go
fuck yourself. Who the hell is making that weight, John?
Dustin Poirier used to fight at 45.
Jeez. I mean, I tell people this story all the time. The first time I ever trained with Dustin Poirier, I was training with him and Frankie Edgar out in Jersey. And I'm like, oh, so I'd never heard of him. I didn't know where he was from. He was Southpaw. He came in, with me to help Frankie train for Benson the second fight. And I was like, oh, we were going Southpaw. We're doing all this stuff for him. I'm like, who is this kid? Like, he's big size, like, why you bring him in? He's a 145 pounder. I'm like, shut up. There's no way this fucking guy makes 145. He was 182. training with us. I'm like, how is this guy making the weight? What a stud. What a legend. But yeah, look, with Moicano, you can tell like his chin's good. But John, you say this all the time. Has to do with the squeeze. Everyone's squeeze is different.
Absolutely.
But you saw in the Charles Oliveira fight, when I said like, hey, Islam's going to submit him, and everyone's like, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. You're lost. And literally like he tapped him in the first round. This fight in the second, sorry. Moicano though had the same, same.
That's okay.
Same shit. Moicano had the same thing though. They both almost had like a panic attack. The tap went from like, oh, it's not tight to, oh shit, like get it off of me. It's that panic tap that I don't think people realize. The squeeze is different. Every fighter has a different squeeze.
Yep.
His squeeze is different.
It's so true. It's one of those things. If you don't do it, you don't know.
Yeah.
But it's when you feel the difference, and you all of a sudden you get this person in there, 185 pounds, we'll say, and they squeeze harder than anybody you've ever been against, and you go, holy shit. And it's just the technique.
Yeah.
It's the way that they apply that pressure, their ability to drive you down into the ground with the squeeze. It's just all of it, and they've got it. And man, and when you are put in it, it's either, well, you're going to tap or you're going to nap.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. But you got to really be impressed with. The other part is, people can sit there and say what they want. One of the things that you got to love about Islam, he finishes fights. He said it, in the thing. You figure he had the decision with Volkanovski in the first matchup. Okay. And we talked about the weight cut and everything. And I think it really did affect him. But that was the first decision he's had since 2019. He's got basically, I think, 10 fights from that decision in 2019 through the fight with Moicano now. And you look and you go, finish, Darce choke, the head kick to Volkanovski, arm triangle choke with Oliveira. We saw the ground and pound with Bobby Green, and then, even if you remember the Drew Dober fight, he got that. He didn't even, that was shoulder pressure.
Yeah.
And that's what someone like him can create to the point where a guy who's tired can't take it. So
they cause problems for people.
Super impressive.
Look, I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys have been following this show for a long time, you guys probably remember when I used to tell people that he was a better version of Khabib. And people were like, oh, you're fucking retarded. Like, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, I remember, because I read the comments, so I understand all of them. I'm going to go back and I have receipts of you idiots calling me stupid and dumb and this and that. Well, and I'm telling you, don't you fucking start with me too, okay? I don't need you on their fucking side. Bottom line is, look, I've been telling you guys for a long time, his grappling is better than Khabib's. And Khabib was a good wrestler, good control, and the strength was more of like a control position and just understanding where the position you need to be to control you. You could heavy in positions, like you couldn't move with Khabib. Islam lets you move, and then he like makes you move to where he wants you to go. And then he just takes your back, then he takes your neck, takes the darce, takes the triangle, takes whatever it is. But the bottom line is that I said for the longest time, he is the better grappler, whether it's from the bottom, from the top. But when he gets on top of you, that pressure is nasty. And no one believed me. You guys didn't get that the guillotine was there. You guys didn't get the rear naked was there. The strength is there. The darce, the anacondas. Like he hasn't even, like I'm going to continue to say this. You guys haven't seen, I would say, 50% of his grappling. Like he's only showing you a small percentage of it. He's way better than what you've seen. He just takes what's given to him, and he took it tonight. And he took it quick. He just basically saw what the opportunity presented, snatched it right away, and that squeeze is different. Moicano was put in that position of like, man, it's tight. I'm good. Oh no, I'm not. Panic attack. It was that panic tap of just, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Moicano because it's a really shitty situation to be in. Like, but it's a great situation to be in at the same time. I want to have my chance at a title. I may never get it. This is the chance to get it, and I have nothing to lose. Go out there and do the best I can. And on the feet, honestly, I was concerned because he was faster than I thought he would be against Islam. I thought he'd be a little bit faster, but not the speed that I saw. I also thought that he was getting there quicker, and he looked like his shots were having a little bit more of an effect, like in terms of just knocking Islam off balance. Not that it was affecting him chin-wise or any of that, none of that, but it had that feeling of this could be bad. And when I was back to the Khabib and Justin Gaethje situation, like just shoot just snatch a single,
Take him down.
and then he snatched a single and ran to the double and squashed and got to the top, and I was like, okay, the fight's over. As soon as that happened, like there's that sense of relief that comes over my face, and I'm like, fight's over. And I know maybe the fight wouldn't have ended, but it did. But I'm simply saying, like with the Charles fight, right, the control, all that other stuff. In my mind, I think to myself, he is so dominant from the top position, and the control is there, but the submission threat is there. That was never really the case with Khabib. So, John,
but hold on. You're absolutely right. They approach the fight differently, though.
They're different fighters.
Yeah, no shit. But Khabib, in my opinion, first off, Khabib is a wonderful human being
Absolutely,
and just a great guy until he steps into a cage. Okay, because he's got a mean side to him when he steps in the cage. And the difference with Islam and Khabib, the way I see him, is he's searching for the submission. He's doing exactly what you're saying. He's trying to force you into making a decision to try to move to a certain area because you think that's your way to go, and he's setting you up for that submission. Mm-hmm. I never saw that truthfully with Khabib, except he kind of did with Gaethje, but it was always the same thing with Khabib. I'm going to take you down, and I'm going to beat you to the point where you don't want to be here. I'm going to smash you. That was his thing. I'm going to smash you. And he wasn't looking for submissions. There were submissions there all the time. Eventually, if he was just killing his opponent and his opponent wouldn't give up based upon, getting hit, he would then go and he'd look for a submission, grab a submission and pull it off. But totally different just mindset between the two when they enter the cage.
I'm kind of tired of the comparison because they're completely different fighters.
Sure.
Khabib was extremely dominant, controlling, just made you want to just give up, right? Like he would be talking to Dana, smashing your face in. I'm going to smash you. It's my dream. It's my destiny to be the champion. Like, just give up now. Like, he's talking to his opponent that way. Yeah. Islam is literally just going out there, taking you down, subbing you right away, or just going out there, dropping you, and then jumping on submission. Like, I don't know. Pull this up if you can. But how many finishes he had in his last, since he's been undefeated, since his loss? I want to say it's
since his loss.
Yeah, he's pretty much.
I would tell you he's 16-1 in the UFC. I would tell you that he's had probably 12 finishes.
Yeah. Do you remember, though, the knock on all the daggies? Like, oh, it's just a bunch of fucking lay and pray, a bunch of hump your legs.
Yeah, leg hump.
Did you guys forget that he's just finishing people left and right, whether it's by knockout, whether it's by submission, dominant? And I want to remind people, like, just it was driving me crazy, is that, oh, this guy doesn't deserve it. Doesn't deserve a title shot. Doesn't deserve this. But because guys don't want to fight him. They didn't want to lose to him. If they were going to lose to him, they want to lose from the title. Like as if it made a difference. You don't get paid anymore to fight for the title. You'll get a bonus, maybe check sent to you at your house after the fight if you lose, but you don't get paid more to fight for the title. You get your normal purse, then you get a bonus. They'll probably give you like a backroom bonus, something that's just not recorded on your on your contract. But they'll send you a bonus. He has been finishing people. He's been looking dominant. I have a question for you though. Do you rank him now above Khabib? He's got the one win more than him. It was 4 for Khabib. Now it's got 5 title defenses. I believe.
Hold on. If you're going to say, do I rank him above Khabib as a lightweight champion? He's got more wins.
Yeah.
I can understand why someone says, well, but Khabib wasn't going to lose, dude.
You don't know that.
You
don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
No, John.
Yeah, I do.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
I can't
say
as
much as he's my boy, and this is where John's being biased towards Khabib.
I'm not being
biased. He's a Khabib bias guy.
Take a look at the people that were there at the time. Okay. You name me the person that was going to beat him.
I got to be 100% honest. The only guy that I thought at the moment out of any of those guys that had any type of chance, and only because of his body, was Tony Ferguson.
Tony, not even close.
That was it. And the only reason why I said that was because, look, leading up to the Tony fight in the first time they were training, second time, first and second time, both, because they ran together, is there was moments where Khabib was able to be caught in that Darce and that Anaconda. But I just know that the Khabib in training is not the Khabib you're going to get in a real fight.
No.
Completely different. Completely different. Like, even though you're getting him in training, we're talking about training, man. We're talking about practice. It's not the same.
Look, think about Khabib when he fought Dustin and the guillotine. Look, the guillotine that Dustin caught him in. It was on. It was deep. When a guy goes and goes to his side to try to relieve pressure, it's on. And in training, he might have tapped to it.
But let me ask you this. Like, was it on? Because here's the other thing. He also did an interview where he said, like, look, once I felt like it might be kind of close, he's like, I just turned to my side and he's like, I know I'm going to come back up on a single leg and these guys can't stop me.
Okay.
So, like, even when things are not tight.
No, so what did he just tell you?
He told me that it was on.
It was tight,
but
I knew I was going to be okay. Okay, I'll give you that. But
what's your idea of tight, though?
Tight is when you feel it, dude.
Really? Because I mean,
oh no.
If I'm gurgling, that to me
that's
is
tight. There you go.
That's like
that. That's when you feel it.
My Jay-Z Cavalcante, where he had me in that Armen guillotine, I was fucking gurgling.
You were gurgling because I heard every one of those.
Yeah.
I saw the snot bubbles coming out.
It was so bad. It was so bad. I was like, you son of a bitch. You're not catching me in the first round on this shit. Anyways.
Shit happens.
My whole take on this fight was I was extremely impressed with the fact that he didn't take any time to make the decision. I'm taking the fight. If I'm the champion, I fight. And now, if all you hardcore fans or all you casual fans that are listening to our show, I want you guys to think. Next time you see it, you hear, there's him and Holland about a champion not taking a fight, just think about Islam Makhachev. Think about Khabib Nurmagomedov when said, hey, I don't give a shit who you put in this cage. As long as they make the weight, I'll fight King Kong. I don't care. That is what your champion's supposed to do. If they're the champ at that weight class, they are supposed to take on any and all comers that can make the weight. That's right. Doesn't matter. So when you hear someone say like, oh, I didn't have enough time, you ain't that guy then. That's what you guys have to remember. We see all this stuff where you're not that guy, and these like social media guys that are getting fights in like bars and like restaurants, right? George knows them. They're all his friends. Anyways, those guys.
George, don't take that.
You want to fight?
Look at George giving you.
George got the Asian eye.
George giving the Asian eyes, man.
Your eyes are like as small as my wife's. No, but that's the reaction from every champion you should get. And the fact that Islam did that, I'm extremely impressed, because no matter how much I thought, like, sure, 100% he would do it. You don't know until you're put in that situation. Yeah. You know, like every fighter talks about, I'll fight anyone, anytime, blah, blah, blah. But then guess what? When the UFC calls and says, you know, we have this other guy because this guy fell off. You're like, I kind of want more money. Maybe I want this guy. Have you thought about calling this guy over here? That's what happens. It happens all the time. And so I was very impressed by that. I was very impressed with the fact that he came out and he looked good. First round finish. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to dispatch of people in that type of ranking situation. What was he ranked? Number 8, Moicano?
Yeah,
somewhere around there. You got to dispatch to those guys. You're the champ. You gotta let the world know that you guys are not on my level. And he did that. He looked impressive. I can't say enough, man. I'm happy for him. I thought he did a great job.
Yep.
Co-main event.
Man, I thought this was absolutely an outstanding fight. Outstanding in just everything that they did in the beginning, in the middle, in the end. You know, I thought Umar was doing a fantastic job in the beginning of that fight. He was controlling the distance. Merab was trying to come forward. He was having a hard time. And every time that he threw, because Merab was the one usually initiating the offense, and he was getting countered, and he was trying to figure out how to stop that counter because it was starting to eat him up. And he eventually did. And the pressure that he brought, he was able to start bringing Umar, putting him towards his back foot, making him, moved backwards and stuff. That just added to some of the fatigue. the wrestling on both of their parts was outstanding. I mean, come on, some of those were some deep takedown attempts, and when they're giving him, they gave Merab the fucking first takedown. It's like, takedown, fucking his ass hit the ground, yeah, but he fucking popped right back up. That's not a takedown. You have to control someone for it to be a takedown. But that's what their statisticians put out. Okay, fine. But eventually he was able to take him down. But some beautiful reversals, just some incredible. And the real thing, if you're going to look at, that was remarkable to me was Merab did absolutely zero damage to Umar on the ground. Zero. There really wasn't anything you could look and say. There was some as they were coming apart on some of the wrestling transitions. He landed some shots there, but on the ground and that's usually where Merab, starts to really add up and build points and start to separate himself in the fight. And I thought, it's his mental toughness because he took some good shots. The first and second round were absolutely Umar's. I know that I know Chris Crail was one of the judges, and he gave the first round.
He needs to have his judging license suspended. Go ahead.
Well, no, it just
make
depends
a couple
on
phone calls.
Sometimes where you're the one seated. Stop! You can't do
did a
that.
bad job.
Really? Did you hear the commentator saying that fucking
job.
Islam got knocked down by Moicano? They said, "Ooh, knockdown." Okay. It's hard sometimes to see from the angle that
they
you're
said
looking
it
at.
in live, and they fixed it in the post fight.
That's because they fixed it because they have a fucking replay.
Yeah, well,
other than that, they put out that he got knocked down.
Job. Whoever the judge was got to do a better job. I thought I agree with the first two rounds and the second two rounds. It literally went into the fifth round to see who won the fifth round.
Yeah,
and
it was 48-47.
And look, as much as Umar is my brother, he lost the fifth round. Yeah. It was a close round. He was I thought he was winning the first 2 minutes of the fifth round. It was a close round. If it went to Umar, I wouldn't have batted an eye either. But I would have been like, you should have done this. You could have done this to make it more clear that you won that round. But the fact that he lost the round, it was close. It was a very close round. And the fact that Merab did what he was supposed to do, he pushed that pace. Merab did what Merab does, right?
Yep.
Merab's going to Merab you. That's what he does, right? Like, look, if I'm a betting guy at BetUS at YouTube 150 is the promo code. If I'm a YouTube guy and I'm betting it at BetUS, I'm simply saying I said that fight was going to go the distance. Bet the fight to go the distance. I thought that Umar was going to come out on top of the distance. I didn't think either guy was going to finish each other.
We said that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said. In the Islam fight, I thought that Islam, you and I both thought Islam would win later against Sarukian. We never got a chance to talk about the Moicano. If I would have been able to post something real quick about it, I would have strictly just said that Islam would have won first or second round by submission. That would have been that easy. In this fight here, I want to just, to all the naysayers that said that Umar never fought anyone, I'm getting tired of this because you guys have to understand that name Nurmagomedov means something. Fighters do not want to fight that name. It has nothing to do with whether Umar deserves it or not. He's born into it. And fighters just automatically think, I don't want to fight that guy. And guess what? Umar gives them a reason not to want to fight that guy. He's that guy that says, look, my flexibility, my dexterity, my stand-up, all of those things are going to pose a problem. And that's exactly what happened, John. Like, no one thought that he was be able to defend the takedowns that he defended. Like, every time, like you said, is that every time he got a takedown against him, he popped right back up. It was more of a scramble. And it was actually kind of, I give you the takedown so I can cut the corner and come up on the ass. It really wasn't a takedown. It was more of like, let me go ahead and concede hitting my hip so I can turn the corner and come back up on a single leg. It was understanding the game of wrestling, not understanding like, oh, if I lose the takedown, it's over. Let me lay to my back and succumb to like this guy putting pressure on me. No, he literally like, I'll give you this so I can take this. Yep. And if you're a judge, you have to be educated enough to understand that. And I think the judge fucked up and didn't understand that. So, but that's just me. I mean, no,
hold on. Did he didn't hit the ground in the first round?
But then how did he lose one? How did he lose 4 rounds? One judge had it 4 rounds.
Yeah. He gave the first round to Merab.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it either.
Revoke.
But the 48-47 was absolutely.
Look, I'd be having a conversation with
a
that
good
guy
score.
talking about revoking his license. Right
Chris
away.
Lieben was one of the judges.
He's a stud. Chris
That
Lieben
gave
knows.
it a 48-47.
Because Chris Lieben knows. Chris Lieben knows what it's
Chris
like.
Lieben
to
and
do.
Mike Bell both gave it the 48-47.
I thought it was but look, all kiddiness aside, all biasness aside towards my boy Umar, it was a great fight. And for those people that wanted to knock him saying he wasn't ready, he's ready. He is 100% ready. He showed it tonight. His takedown defense is on par. What I saw tonight was literally just not fight IQ. It was fight experience.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Merab was a better fighter and he fought in a way that was smarter than Umar. He just literally had more experience on how to deal with the situation that was presented to him, because that's the type of situation he presents to every fight that he's involved in. I think maybe one more fight, maybe in the second. I know they'll end up meeting again.
Oh yeah.
But the bottom line is that I think one fight outside of this, and this is remember when I said I want to see Umar fight one more time? And everyone's like, no. And I think you were even like, well, how long do you want him to wait? And I'm like, bottom line is, there's no rush to the title, because once you get there, the secret's out. You're fighting the best guy. I want to see him get one more fight in. He beat Corey Sandhagen. I was like, okay, he's ready for the title. I get it. I would have liked to have seen him fight one more time before that, because I want to see him get into the rounds 4, rounds 5. I want him to get more experience in that situation. John, it's easy to win round 1 and 2.
Yeah. That's
What
because you've been winning rounds 1 and 2 your entire career.
And then you get to round 3 is when, like, okay, even if you lose a round, the fight's over.
Doesn't matter.
But then you're like, oh shit, I have round 4.
Yeah.
Then you get to round 5 and you're like, guess what? My second win's kind of kicked in, which we saw in the first 2 minutes of the 5th round. But then the experience of Merab was like, I have 3 more minutes. And that pace, that push, the wrestling from the beginning of the round and Umar stopping it, it was, I don't know, it was a great fight, man. I was a nerd. I was kind of nerding out on their ability, like especially Umar's ability to like basically hit a split to defend the single leg and then come up on the outside leg. I mean, it just looked out. It was awesome. It was great wrestling from both guys.
Of them.
It was fantastic. It was a great fight. It was one of the best fights of the night.
Hold on. And this is where, how many people have you heard say Merab's boring?
It's not boring.
How in the fuck can you think that guy and
the
way that he fights is boring? The second thing is, you can sit there and say whatever you want. Every grappling exchange that those guys had was exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every one of them.
I hate the showboating, John. I hate it. I get it. I understand.
I love the guy's personality. He is, and I'm going to give him credit that, I don't know if you guys saw his right shin, but
staph infection,
dude, he had 2 wounds on that leg. Bad. One of them, man, I mean, it probably had, I want to say 20 to 25 stitches to close it. So it was nasty.
From a kick? What happened?
I don't know exactly how he hurt it that way, but it was nasty.
Not staph they had to cut out and then put stitches on?
No, he did get an infection in one of them, and you can see which one it was. It wasn't actually the one that was the longer and more stitched one, but
oof. I saw the pictures.
I give him credit, man, because that was.
He's lucky that didn't trickle up to his vagina, because I mean, then we'd have been in a lot of trouble. But he definitely came in. He came in to fight.
They came in. A lot of people would have that and go, "I can't fight," and he went out there and fought.
But that's the thing with him, man. Like, I gotta be like, when I talk about Islam, I gotta talk about Merab. The same thing.
Who is it? Now that you look at it, he's the champ. Who is it you would think that he should fight next?
Oof.
I mean, you've got, Umar's up there. It's Peter Yan is after Umar. You actually have Sean O'Malley at number 1. Umar was number 2. And
but Peter Yan's fighting. Peter Yan's fighting who? He's got a fight coming up.
He just had a fight.
Did he?
I don't think he has one coming up.
Who did he just fight?
I like you.
I know.
A guy named Dawson Figueiredo.
Oh, gosh, man. How did I forget that fight?
I don't know.
Anyways, yeah.
I mean, you got Corey Sandhagen who's sitting there too.
Yeah.
But who should fight?
The inactivity of Corey drives me crazy because like he hasn't fought since Umar. Should have fought again by now or around the same time. Hasn't fought. It's not even matched up yet. I'd like to see him fight. I don't know. I mean, basically, you just wait. I guess Peter's probably next. You know,
Will it be Sean O'Malley next?
It shouldn't be.
I don't think so either.
I mean, honestly, to be honest, we should probably see Sean fight Umar and Jan get the title shot. It was a dominant performance by Merab over Sean. And I really do love Sean. I want to see him succeed. I think he's great for the sport. But it was a dominant performance. Umar won 2 rounds. Did Sean win any rounds?
Yeah, they had
1-1.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to knock Sean. It's just, whether he was injured, whether he was hurt, whatever it was, like he wasn't able to train for his wrestling. I get it. I understand that. But the bottom line is it wasn't a close fight.
No.
So I had no interest in seeing that fight again until we see Sean get a win. And can he get a win against Umar?
Yeah.
You know, or you have Dawson Ferreira and Sean. And you have Umar kind of wait for the balance maybe of someone there. He's already beat Corey Sandhagen. I don't know. I'd like to see Sean O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen.
That'd be an interesting fight.
That'd be a great fight.
That would be.
That'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
John, next fight.
All right, we had Yuri Procházka taking on Jamal Hill. I was going to say Jamal, but I'm not going to do it. Podcast Dave is not here. Jamal Hill with Yuri Procházka. That was there was a lot of back and forth in talking, a lot of things going on. Jamal Hill, making statements. Jamal Hill already trying to get a second fight with Pereira. I guess Yuri's now trying to get a third fight with Pereira. Everyone wants to fight Chama, but this was actually a really good fight. I thought that both guys went out there, they put it on the line. I thought Jamal Hill had some moments where he looked really sharp, but this is where we talk about, you can say what you want about Yuri, but his awkwardness is difficult to deal with. And you saw, how many times did you see Jamal Hill touching air?
Yeah.
He missed so many shots. He threw a lot, and man, he missed a lot. And it put him out of position. And that was actually how Yuri ended up with the second knockdown, was based upon him missing big time and being out of position and getting hit. And, I give Jamal credit. He was tough. He went out in the first round. I thought he lost the first round. I thought he won the second round. It was close, but I thought he won it. And so it was all up to the third round, and Yuri started taking it over. He was landing the kicks. He was landing the shots. Jamal was hitting air, and eventually hitting air cost him big time, and that's how he got put down and got taken out.
Yeah, I thought that's one of the better fights. And look, we were having this discussion of, for Bet US and the betting odds, and I actually was leaning a lot more towards Jamal Hill. I thought for sure that Yuri was going to run into a shot from Jamal. Also, too, I thought Jamal was going to be faster. Was not the case.
No, it was not.
It was not the case. And so, look, those are things that when you don't understand until they get in there, you see like a couple jabs, a couple hard punches, and you're like, oh, so-and-so's a lot faster than I thought. Or wait, so-and-so's a lot slower than I thought.
It's one of the two.
It's one of the two. And I'll give you an example. Like I prepared so much for the Nate Diaz fight, but when I got in there, I felt like I was moving around in the Matrix and he was moving super slow. All the punches were coming like really slow. He's not as fast as I thought. I thought after watching him beat up Donald Cerrone, I was like, man, he's touching this guy left and right. Like this guy's slow. Like he's fast. And then I got out there and I was like, this is not the case. That's exactly what I felt like I was watching tonight when I was like, oh my God, Jamal Hill is throwing and Yuri's always slightly out of position. He's always out of position, but he's always out of range.
Yep.
And in that fight, I'm like, why is he not touching him? Even when he was throwing straight, John, sometimes like the loopy stuff misses because the guy gets out of way in time. But even when he was throwing the straight punches, Yuri was slightly out of range. Like just like where Jamal was just touching the nose or, a little bit outside of it, whatever it was. But
he was exactly where he wanted to be.
I thought Yuri was just like kind of retarded and just kind of like just went out there and fought dumb. But no, there's a little bit of method to his madness. Like he moves his head and look, if I was somebody that like on the backside was looking at Dominic Cruz, I'm like, man, this guy's just dumb. Like doing weird movements, acting stupid, and there's no rhythm and rhyme to it. But then you look at what Dominic Cruz has achieved in his career, and you're like, this guy
Obviously, he's not.
He's
quite that
obviously
dumb.
not just dumb, right? And Yuri, I guess, for me up until this moment, because I'm like, oh, he lost twice to Alex, and got viciously, and the fight with Glover was very sloppy, and Glover was able to touch him on the feet, and do things to him on the ground. I'm like, yeah, but then I thought Jamal Hill would be a lot faster, be able to touch him. That was not the case. Everything that Yuri was doing was working. Slightly out of position, dipping his head low, making Jamal like reach under, keep missing, come up top with loopy shots, missing, straight punches, missing. Look, can't take anything away from Yuri, man. He looked great. Do I think he beats Alex? No.
Nope.
I don't think he does. I mean, third times. I mean, for not even for Izzy was it a charm, but like that's kind of where you're at. Like, how many times has Alex got to beat people to for us to be like, all right, let's move on. But look, Alex Chama's got a big fight in front of him. They announced the Magomed Ankalaev fight. Tough fight, man. Tough. Does Ankalaev stand? Does he take him down? I think he stands because he's bitten into it too much. I think he has to stand. Tonight, what I saw, Hill, he's going to have to take a back burner. Let's look for Hill and Khalil Roundtree now. Remember all that talk? He's like, you're not on my level, win a fight, da-da-da. Now, Hill's in a position of like, I'll take any fight I can get to give me back to the title.
Yeah, hold on. He's a long ways from a title shot.
But so is Khalil.
And Khalil's not as far as Jamal Hill is.
They're probably equal.
Jamal's sitting off of two straight losses.
George, don't shake your head, buddy. I'm a professional here, not you.
Jamal is sitting off of 2 straight losses, and those were both losses that he got finished.
Those of you guys didn't see George. He did this to me. He did this. I love George though. Come on, Keto.
Yeah.
All right, next fight.
I'm not going to talk about the next fight until you admit that Jamal's a lot farther away from
Absolutely not. I think they're equal. They're equal.
No.
Because look, Khalil looked good in the title shot.
Okay, hold on. How many rounds did Jamal Hill win against Alex?
Yeah, but that was the referee's fuck up. And who was the ref? Who was the ref?
Okay.
Who was the ref? Who was the ref?
Herb Dean.
There you go. My favorite referee
You
ever.
did a great job.
Shut your mouth.
All right, and then hold on.
Yes.
So, first off, Khalil Roundtree won rounds against Alex.
He did.
Khalil Roundtree, how many rounds?
John,
with
every
Alex?
dog has their day, buddy. They win around.
It's not dog has his day.
They win a round or two.
I would love to see Khalil go up against
Volkanovski won a couple rounds against
Both of them
Islam.
are coming off
Look
of
what happened in the
losses.
second fight.
I would like to see it. It'd be great.
John, come on.
All right, let's go with Jelton Almeida
Far-fetched.
taking on Sergey Spivak. This is actually pretty good for heavyweights on the ground. There was a lot of, couple of beautiful sweeps in there. You got to admit there was some nice work. Really, I was surprised. Spivak was actually landing some hard shots.
George.
Look at you, man.
No, I thought.
Hold it, George. Did you see what he just did?
Give him the lips.
Did you see it?
Giving
That's
him
how
the
they got
lips.
chapped in the first
That's
place.
why
It's
he's
the
got
wind.
chapped lips. There ain't
Austin's
no wind,
freezing.
man. It's what he's been putting his wins
Well, tell
his lips
Austin to
against.
stop doing that to you.
That's not his name. 22 degrees today.
Yeah.
And the wind of 12 miles an hour or something like that.
Cold.
I'm going to feel it tomorrow. It's supposed to be colder tomorrow.
You're gonna feel it when Austin puts whatever he has on your lips.
There's no such thing as Austin. I'm in Austin, the city.
Yeah. Oh, sure you are.
You guys. He's from Tennessee, Nashville.
All right. Jelton Almeida against Spivak. I thought it was actually really good, though. I really did. I enjoyed it. As soon as Spivak went belly down, though, you knew it's going to be over. But
Early
overall,
stoppage.
You know what? You're just putting your hand up against your head. You're asking them to stop.
7 seconds,
just asking.
Sean.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care how much time was left. Doesn't matter.
The shots were not hard, though. That's my point. My shots weren't hard.
Really? Okay, I want you to just.
I've been in those positions.
Not with
against heavier
not with
guys.
Jelton Almeida.
You're right. That guy can't punch for shit.
It's true. You really can't.
That's why I'm questioning the stoppage.
But-
Look, I was surprised to see Spivak take him down to start off. I was like, why? What are you doing? Like, what's going on? Then he was dominating on the top position. Then he got swept. Then came back to the top position. Then, ended up getting belly down. And I was like, but then 7 seconds though, John. I know refs are not supposed to care about the time. They don't look at the time.
You don't.
But you also got to look at the quality of shots that are landing.
Yeah.
This like little rabbit bunch stuff, and it's just you guys are they're on the main card. They're there for a reason. We shouldn't be stopping fights like that.
They're on there because Armen threw his back out.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Were they? No, were they? I thought they were already always
They
on.
weren't.
They weren't.
No.
Oh, they got bumped up.
Yep.
They got bumped up because of the Benil Dariush versus Moicano fight being bumped.
Mr. Professional.
But
Expert, not professional. Expert.
Renier de Ritter, RDR, taking on Kevin Holland. I told you. Don't
John,
go to the ground
shocked the
with
shit out of me.
RDR. I told you. I said he's got to stay on his feet because if he doesn't stay on his feet, he's going to be in trouble against
John didn't say that.
de Ritter. You lying some bitch. Just like you're lying about the wind
John
in your lips.
didn't win. John didn't say that. Look, it was a good fight. He just like I don't know what his deal is. He was on the Jackson podcast, which you and I were just on.
Yeah.
And he's talking about I don't give a shit about this fight.
I know.
Like you shouldn't be saying shit like that publicly.
No.
Like if I'm your promoter, I'm like, okay, what are we doing then? Why
You
am I
also shouldn't be
paying you?
picking fights with Quentin.
Yeah. Have you not watched what Quentin does when you like do any type of grappling with him? He picks you up and power bombs you right in your head. I don't know, John. Like I feel like he's just in it for the show now. It's a WWE type effect right now. Because what's crazy is that he has so much talent. He has the speed. He's got the long range. That body style to me is, you guys hear me say all the time, tall, long, and lanky. It fits. Just
He's still in that position. His wrestling is such a weak spot for him that it cost him fights all the time.
But even that first grappling exchange, I felt like there was a moment there he should have got that triangle.
No,
He
never
just
could never get his other leg free. De Ritter was sitting there putting pressure against it. He knew.
But if he was a better grappler, a tiny bit better, I think there could have been there. That body style, John, the Anderson Silva Chael Sonnen, that tall, long, lanky, those long legs, they lock up so much smoother than somebody that doesn't have those long legs.
He wasn't ever getting that. It wasn't close.
Anyways, I mean, but the bottom line is that I feel like he's checked out. He's in it for the paycheck, and it's a matter of time before Dana's like, "Hey, what are we doing?" Like, I mean, what's Kevin now? How many fights has he lost in a row? 2? Or did he win his last one? I haven't. To be honest, I'm just like, really?
I don't think he won his last one.
No, I don't think he did. Who did he lose to last? There, George.
So he
had a Delice.
He lost the MVP.
So he lost
to Delice.
He lost to Roman
Oh yeah,
Delice.
he lost the Delice.
Because he beat Olechek.
Olechek, yeah. Olechek. Then he beat MVP. Or he lost the MVP, and then he lost to Jack Della Maddalena.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, he's won one fight in the last 5.
I hate this. I hate to see a guy that is 32.
Okay.
Already just kind of feel like, okay, I'm here. I'm in it for the money. I'm never going to title shot. I'm not making a title run. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But the thing is, the checks get bigger if you make that one more run. If you make one more run, the checks
But he
get
should
bigger.
look. Let's be honest. He shouldn't be fighting at 185.
Yeah.
He's not. He doesn't. It's not that he doesn't have a big frame. He's just not a big, strong, individual that can stop people that have that strength. And at 170, he's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I always enjoy watching him. I think he's fun to watch as a fighter. He's beaten some good people.
Yeah.
You go to the 170. He beat Ponzinibbio at 170. He beat Chiesa at 170, I believe. He's had some good wins.
Yeah.
But
I think when fighters start to act this way and present themselves this way in media, they're kind of like, I've done everything. I'm the man. Like, doesn't matter. I'm getting paid this much money. The UFC's taking note. Why are we paying you this much? What are we doing? Contract's up soon. Like either we cut you or we sign you for way less. You're gonna feel disrespected. So as the fighter's gonna go, all right, I feel disrespected. I'm not fighting for that. You see it right now going on all the time in PFL. All the fighters are going, hey, I feel disrespected, so I'm not re-signing with you. That's what's gonna happen here. Fighters that are not performing to the level they could perform at, the UFC is gonna come back and then say, look, we were paying you 100 and 100. Now we're offering you 55 and 55 or 70 and 70. And you're like, no, I'm not fighting for that. Go somewhere else then. So
that's the problem. There's less and less places to go.
Less and less places for these guys to go. And they're not going to be willing to pay you that. And if they are, how long till you're back? You're going to go and then who knows? I was going to say this later on in the show, but I'm going to say it now. Bellator was the last show that will ever be able to potentially have competed ever with the UFC. It was Pride first. Strikeforce.
Bellator never competed
John,
with
but no, what I'm saying though is that money wise, with CBS involved, Showtime involved, they had something with the talent and the roster. No other promotion will ever be able to duplicate what Strikeforce and Bellator did to the point where they can catch and start to maybe even gain ground on the UFC. There's no other promotions. GFL has got a long ways to go.
GFL, they haven't even had a damn fight.
But I wish them the most. They have their draft coming up, I think, next weekend. Okay. I wish them nothing but success because I want fighters to have more places to go. But the bottom line is there is such a gap, even between Bellator and UFC. There's a huge gap. Strikeforce and UFC, huge gap. The gap was smaller one because the times were different. You know, with TV, CBS, the potential of CBS and Showtime, and Showtime was such a bigger network at the time. That's gone now for combat sports.
Yeah.
There's not going to be another promotion that can legitimately try to catch them. You're just basically everyone's gonna always be maybe not LFA, but they'll never get beyond a Bellator or a Strikeforce type level. It'll always be either an American just straight show, a North American show. I don't think you're going to see a lot of promotions developing here and then traveling overseas and getting any kind of traction. I think UFC is it. It's done. It's done us talking about other shows being able to compete. I think it's going to be very difficult. Very. GFL's got maybe something, and the reason why I say that, John, is it's a team thing. It's not fight versus fight. I get it. I get what you're saying, but it's not the same as the UFC.
No,
and that's the only
thing. That's part of the problem.
That might be, but I'm simply saying that it's also could be something that's different that gets people like, you know what, this team, I like that team. I like, there's people from different countries. You saw the release. They have one in Dubai, they have one in Miami, they have one in New York, they have one in.
Hold on.
What I'm saying.
Stop. Who's your coaches for Dubai?
I know Javier and
Cain Velasquez and Javier Mendez.
I know. That's just basically Team Habib.
Couldn't be Team Mexico or Team Southern California.
No.
It had to be.
It's Team Habib. Team Habib.
That's just cracking me up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right. Next fight.
Yeah, we had Honey Barcelos taking on the young talent Peyton Talbott. And this is what happens when you're a young fighter and you have an old fighter who has experience and a very good skill set of wrestling. Talbott was unable to stop him, unable to hurt him. Barcelos comes away with a clear unanimous decision victory. I think Peyton Talbott still's got a lot of talent. He's going to be good someday, but these are the ones that, this is what happens in careers. You're riding high until you all of a sudden can't stop that one person from taking you down and holding you down and creating problems for you. And you got to learn how to get up from that.
John, who does Peyton Talbott remind you of?
Truthfully,
young in their career. I'm not talking like recently. I'm talking about young in their career.
I'm going to tell you Carlos Newton.
Okay.
He really does. He's got that smooth style and swagger to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good, at what he does. And, but but there's certain holes in. I think the kid's got intelligence when it comes to fighting. I really look at him like he's a young Carlos Newton. If I don't know if you remember Carlos.
Oh, I do.
Early,
Yeah,
but talented dude, super talented.
You know who he reminds me of?
Let me hear it.
A very young Robbie Lawler.
Nah. Yeah, I understand why, especially with the hair. Because
the hair,
if you knew what Robbie's
the
hair looked like,
complexion,
it was
the good looks, the marketability in terms of
he doesn't have the power of Robbie.
No, he doesn't. But like he's got a lot of finishes by knockout.
Yeah, that's true.
But 8 finishes. He's got only one fight that went the distance. I mean, he's very marketable. The tattoos. I mean, Robbie had the tattoo on the stomach. I don't know. This is no knock to Robbie because Robbie obviously showed his potential later all throughout his career, everywhere he went. Whether he fought at 85, whether he fought at 170, he came back towards the end of his career, became champion in the UFC. I mean, that lets you know that Robbie could mold himself anytime he put effort in to be the best. Yep. And and the thing I think most people got not frustrated with, but just if you worked with Robbie at all, you understood. Damn, this guy. He puts in half the training, trains hard, but he's literally like the most gifted person I've ever been around. Like so his wrestling, high school level wrestling. I don't know if did he wrestle in college?
Nope.
High school level wrestling. Yeah. Phenomenal sprawl, great wizard, like just with the ability,
super
strong,
yep.
Big power, southpaw, made it very and not to mention, fuck, what a great guy. Right? Talbott has that appeal to him. I think he's got that like, I don't know. I want to say like mother.
Doesn't talk a lot,
but like that Mother Earth kind of like feel to him. And you know what I mean? Like he doesn't seem like he has an evil bone in his body, but when you close that cage door, he wants to knock your head off, which is great. He doesn't have the power that Robbie had, but they just have like similar, I guess, body styles, similar like fighting styles, the hair, complexion. Robbie's a little bit, tan. He's got a tan to him. I don't know, just marketability. I'm looking at it from a marketability standpoint.
Yeah.
He's a good looking dude, speaks well. Speaks better than Robbie. But, Robbie never was much.
Robbie never talked much.
Never talked much. But man, when you got words out of him, he was a great guy.
Yep.
Absolute phenomenal person. So, do you look at this as like, I saw a bunch of people posting like fraud alert. He's, I'm like, no, he's young.
Yeah.
Give the kid a break, man. Fought a guy who was older. What? How old is what's his name? Barcelos, what? 38.
Barcelos, like 38.
Lots
39.
of experience fighting a young kid.
Yeah. Talbott's what? 25, 26.
Yeah, something like that. Just what did he learn from this? That's what I want to know.
That's what we're gonna find out.
Yep. Hey, John. Any other fights on here you want to chat about?
I thought I got to give it up for Grant Dawson. He fought a guy in Diego Ferreira. I mean, Diego is a hell of a fighter. Grant Dawson looked great. I loved his call out for Benil Dariush, saying, "Hey, man, you know what?
Good fight."
Yeah, I thought it's smart.
Do you think the size was the difference? I thought the size was the difference in this fight.
Do you?
Maybe the strength along with the size.
Strength.
He just looked like he was able to handle.
He bullied him around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the other fight that you really got to give it up was Gafurov. Gafurov going up against Nakamura.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Nakamura was undefeated at the time. Gafurov was a guy that could wrestle and stuff, but not to the level of Nakamura. But man, he fucking fought a hell of a smart fight and really took it to Nakamura. That was an impressive win.
All right, hey guys, that's gonna wrap up our UFC talk. If you guys have any other questions, drop them in the comments down below. I will read them because John won't. But this show's brought to you by BetUS. Use the YouTube 150 as the promo code, and also Element. John, show me your Element can.
Boom, baby.
Like I was saying, I use Element a little bit before going to bed at night. It helps me sleep.
Stay salty.
I get a better rest.
There's your
1,000
milligrams of salt. 200 milligrams of electrolytes and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Very important for your body. Magnesium is a big element that you need.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Also, join us over at OnlyFans. We do a live chat over there once or twice a month. So hey, join us over there as well. It is free. And let's say podcast Dave. Podcast George. Keto George.
George.
Give us some topics. What do you got? Give us one or two so we can get this going.
So we got the new tough judges announced your boy
Coaches.
Daniel Cormier. Yeah,
Coaches.
coaches. Your boy Daniel Cormier, and also your boy Chael, the bad guy, son in Tough 33. What do you think about it?
Hold
on.
Dvalishvili. Chael Sonnen. I can't imagine. I better not be bringing fighters from other countries. Yeah.
Like I guess it was the Ultimate Fighter night because Craig Piligian is being put into the UFC Hall of Fame as the guy that was the executive producer of the Ultimate Fighter from the very beginning. He's a pain in the ass. He's a good guy. He was the guy that would put the fighters through the interview. He's the reason John Fitch was was told to step off of the plane.
Fuck that guy.
See, but
we are AKA, man. Hashtag we are AKA. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was so to hear that while he's being put in the Hall of Fame, that's congratulations to Craig. That's a great thing. But the fact that they're putting Chael and Daniel Cormier, obviously the coaches are not fighting, because that used to be almost a requirement, I guess, after Connor and Chandler was a bust on that. They're like, screw that. We just need entertainment. And I think they're going to get great entertainment from those two coaches. First off,
we're not going to get like the Vanderlei Chael fight again in the middle of the show.
No, you're not going to get that, but you are going to get some great stuff, based upon, look, Cormier is I'm saying this with the utmost of it. He's a clown. As far as he likes to have fun. He likes.
Why you gotta
to
be mean
around.
To my boy, man?
I'm not being mean. I'm saying it with the utmost
you say clown.
respect.
Anytime you call someone a clown,
clowning because he likes to clown. He likes to have fun. He likes to do practical jokes.
Boy. Come on, I wouldn't let someone talk about you that way.
He's a fun guy, and
he is fun,
and he'll be a great coach.
So is Chael,
and Chael is fun too. They do things in a different way.
That's one way to say it.
It's the good guy versus the bad guy. I don't know if Dan's really that good of a guy. He is, and I don't know if Chael is that bad of a guy. But you know what?
I don't think Chael is.
It's a good mix-up. I kind of like it.
He's running with a stick. Chael.
Oh my god!
If you guys ever met Chael, he's a total nerd. Like he's the guy that like never goes out, has a drink, never goes out. Like if he's not having dinner,
he doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink. If he doesn't get to dinner by like 4 or 5 o'clock and back in his room, with his wife and his kids, like he's just not. He's like, I'm good. He's not trying to walk this trip. He just wants to relax. Good for him. He's a good dude. I think this is going to be one of probably the best. I haven't. I think it's going to be funny. I haven't tuned in since the Gabe Rudical anal canal thing.
Oh, Jesus. Anal canal?
Yeah, I have whatever.
Is that what you're going with?
What was it called? It was called the colonoscopy. That he got to try to make weight, and he still missed weight.
It wasn't a colonoscopy.
Wasn't it? He got a
cleanse.
I thought he got a colonoscopy.
No,
a
colonic.
Oh, whatever. I thought it was the same shit.
Kind of is the same shit.
There you go. Well, right? Same shit.
Hold it. One's a scope and one's just a tube, I guess. I don't know.
Look, you're putting anything near my asshole. I'm like, this is not the business, bro. Really, just to make weight? Why don't you just not eat the? Didn't he have like chocolate cake like the week of?
It was all screwed up.
Anyways, that was the last episode I ever watched. That was the last one. I watched the first season. I watched the second. What season was that?
He was like the third or the
third. I think third or fourth, season. Right? Yeah, third or fourth. Anyways, that was the last season I ever watched. I was like, I don't want to see guys like going to the colonic to get their business done.
That's the stuff that Craig Piligian loved, though.
But it's going to be a fun show with DC and Chael. I have a question. Do you think they'll still be friends after it?
Yeah.
You don't think? I think like too much of somebody could.
You're not into that as far as you're not there that much together.
That's true. That's also true. Yeah.
And you're trying to help and get guys or the girls, depending upon what they have for weight class and stuff. I don't know, forward and stuff. And it's like you're competitive because you want to win. You want your people to win, but No, in the end, no. I don't think it's gonna do anything.
Like if you're DC or you're like Chael, like why would you want to live in Vegas for 4 weeks? Like you're old, dude. Like Vegas is not the spot.
Well, Chael's just gonna like you
Like
said.
he's gonna stay in his 5-star hotel.
He's gonna bring his family
with his family. Yep. Probably homeschool him.
Yep. So,
have a tutor and a nanny. Yep.
Daniel, a little bit different story, but it's all right. But he'll be golfing.
Just a tad bit. Just a tad bit.
He'll be golfing.
What else you got for us, George?
Okay, we had Paddy to Batty pull up to a rival's gym, Dennis Frimpong, and they had a sparring match that was
They
recorded.
did. I watched that.
Paddy choked him and had to get pulled off of him. He wouldn't let go after he tapped.
This is why you have referees in fights. There's people that get mad. It was actually I watched it, and it was competitive. That they're both standing there swinging. And once Paddy took him down, he got the back pretty easy and sunk in the choke and was choking. The guy taps and Paddy decided, no, you can go to sleep. And that's what happens when you have words with people on social media and you're both fighters.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and cry about it. It is what it is. I saw someone say, "Oh, that's you just took it from sparring into illegal assault." Stop.
Shut up.
Stop.
Shut your
what?
whore mouth. You signed a waiver when you came into the gym.
I love when people sit there and think that like if you say words to someone on the street and they choke you, you can tap and they're gonna let go. Ain't gonna happen. I guarantee you that if I'm choking you, you can tap me all you want. Yeah. You're going to go unconscious.
All the people watching, they're visitors, they're watching, they're seeing, like, they're not going to let it get to the point where, like, someone dies or, look.
Hold on. If Josh, let's be honest. How many times have you gone to sleep in training?
3.
Okay. Did it hurt you?
No.
No.
Let me ask you this. People wake up and they don't know like how it happened and where. I've always remembered like how it happened. But some people are like, what happened? Like what like
because
I didn't know what position I was in.
It hasn't happened to them before, or the fact that they're just like, all of a sudden because they got that almost like euphoric feeling when you come back a little bit.
I woke up one time with the heart on. I don't know what it was, but it happened. It happened, John. Sorry. I don't know what happened in between when I was out, but I woke up.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Your partner was not too thrilled.
She didn't mind. I mean, sorry. No, my first time ever being choked out was with Frank Shamrock. He choked me out.
Okay.
And then Bob Cook. And then third time was like this chubby brown belt jiu-jitsu guy caught me in a clock choke. And I saw him setting it up and I was like, I'll be good. And then he like bellied down on my face. And next thing you know, I couldn't tell if it was the choke that choked me out or the fact that he laid his belly on my face. I was suffocated. Like I was trying to get air out of his belly button, but it wasn't coming. I was like, I don't think there was enough in there in the pocket. And so, I got stuck. Yeah. I'm watching the Paddy Pimblett stuff right now. This guy that he's like sparring with he's not bad.
No, he's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
Good stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Obviously no grappling because he gets taken down.
His ground is not real good.
Yeah. Good for him.
For him.
What's embarrassing is that it's at his school, it seems like.
Well, that's Manchester top team.
Yeah, but you got all these people watching.
Yeah, well, hold on. If you're going to sit there and say things back and forth on social media, if the guy shows up, I think we talked about it for a second. There's a guy named John McPhee. It's called Shrek. He was a Delta Force operator. He's been on multiple podcasts, been on Joe Rogan's podcast, been on Sean Ryan's podcast. And he, in his podcast with Sean Ryan, he talks about Tim Kennedy a lot because McPhee is the reason that Tim Kennedy was brought over towards the Special Forces for a while. He was Tim's sergeant major for a while and stuff. And Tim talks about John McPhee with reverence and stuff. And says, he's one of those guys that, hey, not the nicest guy to work for, but, you put him in a thing of glass and, break in case of war, that's the guy you want. But McPhee talks about, Tim being young and saying that he could beat everybody in the unit, and they fucking, he said, you're going to beat all of us. And Tim said, yeah, I'll beat all of you. And, he says, okay, 12 o'clock tonight at the dojo, so they got their pad room. So basically McPhee said, oh, no, you said you could beat everyone. So we're going to start with the youngest, lowest ranked guy. And you're going to have to go through everybody, and it's one of those that Tim didn't say no. He said, okay. And he did well with, quite a few until he's, getting a little too tired and stuff. But you got to look and say, he didn't say, no, I'm not doing that. He said, okay, let's go. And that's what, this guy here, you're going to talk on social media. You're going to say stuff. Well, then be willing to go.
Yeah. Tim's going through it right now with a bunch of stuff that apparently was said, but I mean, I want to just be 100% honest with what I've heard and what I have had communication with Tim is, look, it doesn't matter. I think to me, whatever it is he's saying, the guy's a full-blown hero.
Oh, here, I'll say it this way. Because, look, Tim is mad at me. Tim will say that I'm the reason that he fucking retired and stuff. But I will say this. The things that Tim is going through right now is with military things and things about stolen valor. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I agree with you. Tim is a fucking hero. Okay? Tim has been there and he's done it with a lot of people, and he's not perfect. None of us are. Mm. And when I say he's not perfect, what I'm talking about is, even with the incident that he's mad at me about with Romero, is he tells the story, and the story that he tells has flaws in it.
But it's his version.
Boom. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when, here, and I'll break it down to you as simple as it can. When Tim tells the story, because he said it on Sean Ryan's podcast, mm-hmm. When he tells the story, he says, the bell sounds to start the round, and they don't start the round. Josh, is there a bell to start the round?
No.
But that's his version. And do I think he's purposely lying? No, he's not purposely lying. He's just saying the round should have started, so there's a bell, because I hear bells all the time, especially in boxing. But you don't hear it in the UFC because there is no bell to start the round, because there's this guy named Niner who is sitting by now. John Anik used to be by, Mike Goldberg, and Niner's the one holding you back from starting the round, because the break between the rounds is never a minute. It's usually somewhere around a minute, 15, 18, somewhere in that area.
You guys are old, lazy with the bell. I get it. It doesn't go off. Yeah, the bell that never goes.
But, if you listen to Tim, he tells the story, and it's, the bell went. Now, do I think Tim's purposely lying? No. That's just, his version of how it's going. And I look at everything that's happening with this whole story. I know for a fact that Tim Kennedy has a Bronze Star. What do you get a Bronze Star for?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
Or I thought you don't have the answer? You can't.
Yeah, I have the answer.
Well, then answer it, John, because I don't fucking know.
You get a Bronze Star for military action that you did something that was a hard situation. There's valor behind it, and you get that. Same with, then there's the next step is Silver Star, and so I've heard Tim in some of these things say, he's had, medals for valor. If you're asking me, when he says I've had a medal for valor, that Bronze Star is a medal for valor. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be some that will technically say, no, it's not. Bullshit. It is. I agree with him. So, with all this stuff that's happening with Tim, I stand with Tim. I stand with you. I think that Tim has absolutely served this country well. I think he's a great guy. He can be mad at me. That's okay.
Yeah, it's funny. I've had conversations with people like that were part of like Delta Force, people that were in the Rangers, people who were the Navy SEALs, and they've all said the same thing: is that it doesn't really have anything to do with Tim. It doesn't have anything to do with who's the other guy that talks like hella shit? David Goggins. He's like, hard bitch, like whatever that guy, right? David Goggins. They don't have anything against those people. What they have is they have something inside where they want to shit on their own people.
Yeah.
They don't want to see people, and this is not just in the military.
They don't want to see them succeed.
They don't want to see them doing something and speaking about something that they've been a part of. They just can't vocalize as well as these guys are and making money off of it because they have not been able to do it. Yeah. And it's not just that. It's not, look, just, it's not the military only. Fighters did that shit to me when we started this podcast. You know how many fucking messages I have, and I still have the receipts for all those fighters? They're like, oh, you're just fucking being carried by John. Oh, you have a podcast because of John, or you decided to do it because, you know, John's a name and this and that. Like, why didn't you do it on your own? I was doing it on my own before we even started the show.
Hold on. I'm going to say I joined you.
But John, I had a show already. It wasn't what we have now, but we had, at least we hit the ground running with followers, right? Like it was already in the like people just wanted to shit on me that were fighters, and I still have all those receipts. And I think to myself, I've never called you out. I've never said shit because there was something going on inside of you. And I left it as that. Like people don't realize, like I can be a total, and John, you know, I could be a total asshole and I could be a punk. I can be that guy, but you guys don't realize how much I'm not that guy.
No,
I'm not. Like
I like to fuck with you, but
yeah,
no, you're not.
I'm not that guy. And then so when I've had these conversations with people that are not Tim Kennedy, I was just hanging out with Tim Kennedy 2 months ago when we were in Austin for lacrosse. Now we're here for soccer. But we talk about this all the time, and I've talked about it with other guys in the military. Like, yeah, they don't want other guys to talk about what they've done to levels of what they've done it because they articulate it better than they can. Their whole life is military, which Tim's is, and David Goggins, their life has been military too. They just can't express it the way that they can to make money off of it. They don't know how to do it. And so they get upset. They start just picking up little pieces of what they said and trying to make a big deal about it. And I've seen it happen, not just in the military. I've seen it not just happen in fighting. I've seen it happen in our media stuff, you know, and in terms of analysts and people talking and saying like, oh, this guy doesn't know shit. This guy doesn't do his research. The guy does what he does, but he still sounds good on TV. Look, I love Uncle Chael. I'm sorry, man, but it doesn't matter what I can say about Uncle Chael. Uncle Chael is fucking must-watch TV. It doesn't matter what it is. You enjoy this. John, you were there when that whole phone call thing. I was talking. Conor McGregor called me, telling me how good James Gallagher was, and I'm shitting my pants, going, I got to go after this guy. He just talked to Conor McGregor. Who the fuck am I going to say I talked to, right? And I'm talking about this guy, and John looked at me and goes, he made it all up, and I was like,
fucking lying.
You're right. He did make it all up. He made it all up. Like, why didn't I think of that? And it changed my perception on how you do TV. And I'd already been working in for TV for like a year, and I was like, dude, this guy's got something. He knows. And so you don't need to ever say that, like, oh yeah, I was talking with that guy. You can say it if you want, but no one's ever gonna like check your phone and find out. But people don't like to see others succeed. I will never have anything to say bad about my boy DC, my boy Chael, you know, you especially, because you know we're so close. But like, I don't have nothing negative to say. Like, if you guys have ever heard our podcast, all I've ever tried to say is I would love to get guys on like BC, Brian Campbell. We've had Luke Thomas on. I want to get every single person on that has another platform. I want to get them on our show just to talk to them about not just fighting, just about life. You know, we've got someone coming up pretty soon, and him and I were talking. He'll probably come on in 2 weeks after their next show coming up next week. But when he comes on, he's like, yeah, I don't want to talk anything to do about I'm like, about fight, about the promotion, about the fight. I'm like, we don't have to talk about that. I've known you for 20 something years. I want to talk about what makes you unique to me. How did you become so popular in this space? And you guys will figure it out once we have them on. But it's just, there's so much more to people than just fighting. Yep. And so when I start thinking about guys that I want to have on, like, I don't always want it to be about fighting. I want it to be about the people that I've met and crossed paths with along the way. I want to build a relationship with them, and not just that, but also to bring light to them. And it's great to see, man. It's great. And I think that other people that don't see what we're trying to do, and not just us, but other people in our atmosphere, other people in our industry, they're salty about it. And I don't get it. I've never understood that. I've never understood that at all, John. I don't get it. And I see that a little bit with Tim. I see a little bit. I've heard the way I heard people talk about David Goggins. I'm like, why? Like, I don't get it. Why? Because he's on Rogan a couple times? Like, why? I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Well,
maybe in your wise wisdom of 75 years old, you can explain to me.
no. Look, I always look and say, jealousy is a thing that is not just about the way someone looks. Jealousy is something that a lot of people have. And if you're that person that they look at that, you got something that they didn't, they're jealous of you. And whatever they can attack, they will attack, be it truth or not.
You know what's funny is people don't, sometimes when they look at you, it's not that they don't like you because of the way you look.
Hold on. How many people do you know that have said things that say, I fucking hate Josh Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
He's this, he's that. It's like, you don't even know Josh Thompson.
No, they don't.
You can sit there and you're hating a perception that you have of that person that could be absolutely correct, or it could be absolutely as far from the truth as you can get, because you've never met that person. You never spent time with them. You have no true idea about what that person is like, the way they interact with people, what they do. It's just a perception.
People, this is one thing I learned is that people will sometimes dislike you for the way you look, for the way you act, for all those
Everyone
things.
dislikes me for the way I look.
But the number one thing that people dislike you for is for the way other people respect you. They hate the fact that you connect with other people that maybe they can't connect with. That is one of the number one things that I've seen. Like, why does that guy hang out with that guy? Because they can't seem to connect with those people, or they can't seem to be in close with them as much as you are. They hate you for that. It's so
crazy.
That is the thing that drives me the most crazy. They hate the fact that you have a relationship with people that they don't have as close of a relationship with. Yeah. George, let's give us one more thing. What else you got? One more thing, and then we're out.
George is sitting there saying, would you guys shut that
I know.
up, man?
I know.
Well, at the post-fight press conference, Dana White said Armen will not be next in line for the title fight.
I knew it.
And he also said he would consider Islam number one on his favorite pound for pound fighter.
Oh,
He said
look
it.
at
He
that.
said it.
Look at that. It's something I didn't bring up, but it was funny because as soon as I got the word that Armen was out, and I got it early from some people. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to give it.
Oh, come on, John. Spill the names.
No.
Just spew the names.
Just
Throw them under. Let them lose their jobs. Let's go, John.
Thank you very much.
Come on, John.
But, and I texted, our news thing so you would see it and other people would see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I looked at it right away at the timing of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I'm right, but the timing of it tells me that someone was having a hard time making weight. And they knew that they weren't going to make weight. And instead of going and not making weight, I'm going to say, oh, I got this injury here, which maybe he's got a back injury, but he tried to put it off on that. And the only thing I'm going to say is, and the UFC is not stupid. They're dealing with fighters all the time. And I looked at it and I told that person that told me, I said, hey, I'm just telling you, I don't think he's got a back injury. I think that he wasn't going to make weight and he knew it. And if he's not going to make weight, he's not fighting for the title. And then he's not going to get a chance to come back and get that title shot. But if he was injured, maybe he will. I go, and Dana's not going to do that. Dana's going to know he's not stupid. And it was the first thing that crossed my mind when I heard it. I was like,
not at like 2 a.m. you get the call.
yeah.
Which means you were trying to get the weight down low enough to go to sleep and wake up in a feasible position to cut the weight in the morning.
And if you looked at him, I'm going to be honest. Look, he looked fantastic.
Yeah.
He looked big, though.
Yeah.
He did look big, and he was ripped. So there wasn't a whole lot, that was coming off of him. I looked at it and I was like, I'm not too sure about that one. But I could be totally wrong, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Armen. I'm sorry that you weren't able to do the fight, but I kind of have a feeling that weight was a problem.
Do you think it was just the weight? How many people I had call me or text me and say, hey, that he was supposed to take a drug test in the morning?
Oh, really?
And look, I'm not speculating.
I don't know.
I'm leaning more towards the weight thing, John.
Yeah.
Because look, at 2 a.m, I've been at 2 a.m when like weight's not coming off, and I'm almost in tears.
Yeah.
Going,
there's a panic when it comes to it. Yeah.
But I've also had fights where I got called on a Wednesday night, had to report by Thursday morning at 8 a.m. at the drug place that they told me to report to take the blood test or the piss test. Yeah. And all of a sudden I got a call that morning and my opponent dropped off. So, I mean, like, that's normally what they do too, is they call you at, say, like 10 o'clock at night when they know you have no time to try and prepare. And they say, hey, 8 a.m., drug test.
Yeah, but the drug test, you dropping out of the fight shouldn't eliminate you from taking that drug test. Now, if it's with a commission, yes.
Yeah, this was only commission based.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
My stuff back in the day was only. I'm old, John.
I
just remember that I'm old. Like this is pre-USADA.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about like the UFC thing here, because that's not gonna. That won't take him out of
And in no way am I saying Armand is cheating, using anything like that. I'm just simply saying that I've had past experiences with that, and then I also was told that the fighters were told to check in early in the morning to take their drug test.
Yeah.
So, but I'm leaning more towards the weight thing because, like you said, I saw him physically look like big, already cut in those photos, which is coming right off of sparring or right after training. So he looks filled out, pumped and filled out. I agree with that. But regardless, like at 2 a.m, I've been countless times, at least 4 or 5 times. To me, that's pretty high for counting. So 4 or 5 is like after 5, I can't really get past that. It just came down to shit. I'm in tears. I have 7 pounds and I got to make weight by 9 a.m. and it's 2 a.m. And it's not coming off. I've been in the sauna for an hour and I've lost a quarter of a pound.
Yeah.
It's like you just start shitting yourself and you're like, fuck it, go home, go to sleep, wake up, in 2, 3, 4 hours. And then, I can sleep all day, tomorrow after I make weight. So you just pray on that, right? And hope. And luckily you wake up and you're like, okay, I slept off a pound for 4 hours, woke up, and now, okay, I can lose weight. And the weight drops off. You drop 4 or 5 more pounds in like 2 hours. So you get lucky, but it's a total just, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And I don't know where he was at. I can see that being the case though.
Yeah.
I could see that being the case.
Yeah. So when they put out that, no, he's not going to get it's right in line with what I thought.
But who's next though? That would be it. That would be it.
It's a good question. Who is next? You take a look at that 155-pound division.
Yeah.
And what they have, that's a tough one to say because, I mean, who has he not fought? I mean, you sit there and talk about Tapuria and stuff coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the
he has Charles again.
All right.
He's got Dawson again.
I mean, Gamrot would be, honestly, one of the more difficult fights for him if you're going to sit there and say it. I
mean, the winner of Max and Gaethje. Because remember, he's got Ramadan. So he'll be gone until probably end of March, probably April. So I think Ramadan comes early this year. So it's like, I think the end of February into March.
You mean Dan or Gaethje?
You're going to say Dan Hooker and Gaethje? You said Max.
Oh, did I say Max? Sorry.
Yeah.
Dan Hooker and Gaethje. Yeah, because Max is coming off the loss. But I'm saying that probably the winner of that maybe possibly would fight him. He just beat Moicano. I know Faziz's been asking for a fight for 4 or 5 for 2 to 3 months now. They haven't booked him, which is weird. I know Paddy Pimblett's been making some noises. He's been like,
Pimblett's gonna be fighting Chandler.
I know, but he said, I'm coming. So if he gets past Chandler, I could see them pushing him
up
really fast. And if Bilal wins, if he beats Shavkat, if Bilal loses, I think Islam goes to 70.
Could. Not saying it's a good idea.
I'm not saying it's a good idea either. He's kind of where he needs to be.
Yeah.
He's kind of where he needs to be.
He should stay right where he's at.
Yeah, he's just doing good, man. Like, just keep running it up, man. Just keep running the title shots up.
That's it.
Make that money. Collect that money. All right. Anything else, George?
Nope, we're about good.
That's
All
good.
right.
All right, hey guys, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know I'm not working in my normal studio. I'm here at Podcast Dave's house, and I'm in Austin, Texas. My son's got a soccer tournament out here. We're having a great time. They didn't play too well this morning. They had a good second game, but still ended in a tie. It's like, anyways.
It's all good.
I just want to vent to you guys, let you guys know. Hey, but I want to let you guys know this episode is brought to you by BetUS. YouTube 150 is the promo code. Also use the link down below for LMNT. Every purchase you guys, everything you purchase from them, they'll send you a bonus package with every purchase. And go to OnlyFans and join and subscribe to us over there. Our OnlyFans channel is weighing in. Join us over there. Anything else, John?
I think we're good.
It's been a long show. We've had a long day, a long show, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And John, take us away, bud.
Tuning in and tuning out because we talk too much. For everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed the fights. I hope you enjoyed the podcast and the honesty that you hear out of us. At least some of it.
Give you the red lips.
Yeah, we got Josh with the chapped lips.
Duck lips.
That's a problem. And we're going to have to talk him out of doing certain things that he's doing. That's what.
Talk me off the plank.
That's what Keto George.
George is smiling over there. He might be interested.
All right, for everyone out there, thanks for tuning in. We will see you.